E buongiorno ragazzi, bentornati in questo nuovo video su Spunzo. Oggi siamo qui su Vampyr, raga. Allora, io direi di non perdere tempo, buttiamoci subito in game. Ok, eccoci qua, non ci eravamo fermati qua nella scorsa puntata, ma sono andato un po' avanti e a caso, raga, purtroppo non ve l'ho potuto far vedere. Ho parlato con un signore e perché sapete che ci aveva dato il coupon, quello che era morto nella scorsa puntata. Ho parlato con un signore, non ci voleva in casa. E poi è partita un'azione dove lui andava da Crane, che è quella che dobbiamo cercare qui, e gli diceva che era arrivato qualcuno e loro non lo volevano e così. Quindi dobbiamo trovare degli indizi su un giornalista, perché loro pensano sia stato un giornalista. Vediamo.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay, come on in.
Con quanta felicità, me lo dici?
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
It's locked.
Ok. Parliamo.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like. Well, you know.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Ok. Vabbè.
Do you know nurse?
Andiamo. Oh, ho saltato per sbaglio, scusate.
She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Ok.
Goodbye, young.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Quindi devo trovare Clayton.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. But the answers I seek are based on facts, not superstition. What do you mean when you say that I am more lost?
All
Quite a...
Ecco.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say...
All's
Ma
quite
questo
up to you.
l'abbiamo...
What do you...
Ah, ecco. Ok, 70 metri, dobbiamo andare di qua. 50 metri, ma da questa parte. Ok. Ma è chiuso. Non morde. Oh. Ok. Sono un po' tanti. Cioè in realtà sono in tre, però uno è fortissimo. È fortissimo, raga. Non penso di poterlo battere, è troppo forte. Tu? Chi sei?
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not...
All right then, but be quick, though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Do you know...
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Ok.
Goodbye.
Dobbiamo trovare Clayton. Eccolo forse?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of
Ecco
town?
Clayton.
Name's Clayton.
Perfetto.
Reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, Could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out.
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Dietro la chiesa. Magari di qua? Boh, vediamo. È molto difficile. Perché mordo? Uccido. Tolgo l'aggra. Corro di qua. Così loro se ne vanno. E poi riprovo. Devo continuare così finché non li uccido. Difficilissimo, raga. Provo l'ultima volta, vediamo. Morto.
This man stunned me with his crucifix. This is not good news.
Raga, non so dove io debba andare. Non ne ho la più pallida idea. Non lo so. Vabbè, allora direi che per oggi è tutto. Vediamo se sta porta si può aprire. Ok, si può aprire. Quindi magari è la via giusta. Non lo so. Direi che per oggi è tutto. La prossima volta, se mi ha salvato fino a qua, continueremo da qua. È un casino, raga. Ci becchiamo alla prossima. Un saluto. Bella raga.